It began with a bunch of us who were singing with Susan at Holy Heart High School, where she was teaching choir. And we were singing in the high school choir, and we had a very memorable and successful year. And we just could not bear the thought of going our separate ways. We wanted to sing together. So we asked Susan if she would be willing to start a group outside the school in the community where we could continue singing. Since then, it has opened up to people of all walks of life in the community, and it's become something far bigger than we ever could have thought at that time.
QVE started 25 years ago, and I happen to have a pretty exceptional group of both musicians and friends in the high school that I was teaching in at Holy Heart. And they asked me if they could stay together after the high school experience. They were a very special group, they were very talented, but more important to me was the camaraderie and respect that they had for each other. And those friendships have stood the test of time. They taught me what friendship was.
The idea for the name of the choir actually started with my younger sister Jana, who was singing with Susan at the time, still at Holy Heart. And she eventually went on to join QVE afterwards. But she was the one who suggested the word, came up with this word quintessential. And we knew what it meant, the purest or finest essence of something. And where it came from, the Latin quinta essentia, or fifth element. Knowing that ancient times people used to believe that there were four elements in the world, earth, water, air, and fire. And the fifth element, or quintessence, was what the stars in the heavens were said to be made of. So what better word really to describe the pure love that we had of singing together and the aspirations for doing it at the highest level.
The people of QVE. We have all different types of walks of life, and I love variety. So we have everything in here. We have engineers, painters, artists, and I'm very proud of that, to just see all of these different cross sections of society come together and make art together so well. I did teach in a high school for quite some time, for 30 years, and when I retired, the one thing I couldn't give up was the training those younger voices. And I really particularly love young adult voices. And I like the atmosphere in the room. I'm an SATB, soprano, alto, tenor, bass kind of person. And so when I finished teaching in high school and retired, I thought, I can't let go of this the adolescent, young adult voice. So QVE had then grown a bit older, and I decided to start almost like a feeder choir.
We also realized this would be a really good opportunity to attract a lot more people, young people, into the choir. A few years ago, Susan decided that she would have a new choir in the organization.
We now have two choirs with QVE, an older and a younger choir. The younger choir will be called Aquae, and the older, Ventus, both being taken from the elements aquae, from water, ventus, from air, wind. The significance of these two elements, I think that those two elements, water and wind, air, more closely identify with our Newfoundland spirit than the other elements. Ventus, to me, has to do with our spirit as a people, our strength, our perseverance for centuries, how we have persevered as hard-working people. And with QVE, we've persevered. We've made it through 25 years of, a relatively unstable economy at times in Newfoundland, and we have persevered. The other part of Ventus too that I like is the idea of the line from the Irish Blessing, may the wind always be at your back. I really feel, the strength of Ventus, it's almost like it's that element and that spirit that brings Newfoundlanders back home and back to each other all the time. With regards to Aquae, the water, that's our past, that's our future, that's our connection with the world, that's where our riches come from, is from the water. And I also see it as the younger choir being called Aquae and being called water. It shows its connection. The water has done two things for us. It's isolated us and thus strengthened our culture, because we have each other. But it's also allowed us to go out into the world. So Aquae to me is our connection with the rest of the world. And when I was thinking about the younger choir, we are doing a fair bit of multicultural music. And to me that kind of extends to the idea of water and our connection to the world. That's really where Ventus and Aquae have their start. And they're the two elements that I found most closely represented us and the Newfoundland people. And as well, within the umbrella of Quintessence, the quintessential vocal ensemble.
The secret to keeping this choir thriving after so many years, to me, has been that the choir has never stopped growing and changing and getting better. It's not a group where we want to rest on our laurels. We have always pushed ourselves to do better and better, to try new things, to bring in more people and fresh blood. It's something that has just continued to grow and improve over time, and that's why I've stuck with it this long.
The secret to keeping QVE thriving, I think, is constant change and surprise, the element of surprise. Always striving to be better. And I think I'm a very curious musician, and I think that curiosity keeps me digging and keeps me finding new angles to look at music. And when you dig, you learn to more deeply interpret music as well. So I hope I bring that to the choir, not only interpreting music in a historical kind of a way, but in a very analytical, theoretical kind of way. I enjoy that. I enjoy not only making music, but making us all better musicians. And here we are 25 years later, and stronger than ever. Sing it